Hey everyone, so in this video I want to spend some time answering the most common questions that you guys have. I feel there's a lot of misconceptions out there with dropshipping and a lot of questions that people aren't sure about the answers to. So I want to spend some time and I want to go through it and just answer those questions so you understand what it is that you're getting into and understand the basic principles and what you need to do to get started with it. So the number one question that I get asked is, why would a customer buy from your online store, your dropshipping store, and wait 2-3 weeks for the delivery when they can just go to Amazon and pick it up on Prime for next day? It's a valid question at the end of the day. Why would they? Why would somebody wait 2 to 3 weeks? And my answer to that is, if you can offer a product that they want that solves a problem and it's at a price that they're happy with and they're getting a good deal for that product, they are more than happy to wait for that product to arrive, especially if you can undercut Amazon. So if you can sell your product for like $1 less than what Amazon is selling it for, then yes, they're gonna wait 2 to 3 weeks. So people care more about their money than they do about shipping times. So yeah, 2 to 3 weeks is a long time, but from my personal experience, what I found is if you pick a good supplier, most deliveries are arriving within 2 weeks anyway. I mean, with ePacket, I think the quickest one that I ever saw was in 6 days. Something arrived within 6 days of it being shipped on ePacket, and that was just like, that surprised me. But I have seen it go, to 30-35 days, and that's usually because of customs. That's usually where the issue comes from. So shipping times, yes, it's a downside to dropshipping, but it doesn't cause as big of an issue as you would expect. All you need to make sure is that you're upfront about your shipping times, have it on your shipping page. The line that I use is, due to shipping times and customs clearance, deliveries can take between 10 and 35 business days. I don't get many whereas my order queries a day, probably get about 10 emails a day, and I've done over 16,000 orders, so it's not that big a deal. Another question that I get asked, especially since the Oberlo video went live, is where is the Dropshipping Centre? If you've just got an Aliexpress account now, you've just signed up, you're probably going to struggle to find the Dropshipping Centre within your account, and that's because you have to sign up to be a dropshipper within Aliexpress. You have to request it. Now, I've put a link in the description to this video that should allow you to get straight into the Dropshipping Centre part of your account. If not, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to contact Aliexpress using their live chat and ask them to give you the Dropshipping Centre in your account. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that haven't seen the Oberlo video and they don't know what the Dropshipping Centre is, it's a place in your account that shows all the top sort of dropshipping products, and it allows you to analyze the trend of the orders per day. So it's a really good area to sort of verify whether a product's been successful, whether it's still being sold now, and it's a really good place to validate winning products. So you do need to check that out. You should be verifying everything within the Dropshipping Centre. But if it's not there, then just click the link in the description. If that doesn't work, then just contact Aliexpress through the live chat and get them to add it in for you. So another question that I get asked a lot is, how long do I leave my PPE campaigns running at the beginning? Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, the way that I like to run things, I like to run a PPE campaign that's completely open to either worldwide or ePacket countries, 18 to 65 plus, with no interest in there at all. I might put engaged shoppers in on a worldwide interest to narrow it down a little bit, but I'm not looking for sales. I'm looking for engagement. I'm looking to test my different creatives. You want to try and test at least 3 different creatives when you're testing your PPE campaign to find out which one of your ads is getting the most engagement, the cheapest clicks, and just to find out which one's working for you the best, so you can take that winning ad and move it over to a conversion campaign. But at the beginning, when you're running that PPE campaign, I'm getting people asking me, how long do I leave that running for? I like to leave my PPE campaign running until I get at least 100,000 impressions. And within that 100,000 impressions, I should have collected at least 3,000 to 7,000 95% video viewers. And then with that, I can create a custom audience and create a 95% video viewer custom audience, and then create lookalikes off the back of that. And that's when you can then switch over to your conversion campaign using your winning ad that you've tested in your PPE. Another question that I get that's related to that is, when do I kill an ad set? How do I know when to stop running an ad set? And the general rule of thumb that I use is, if I know what my break-even point, so say if I'm buying a product for £5 and I'm selling it for £20, my break-even is £15. So if an ad set within my campaign hits £15 and it's not made a sale, I will kill the ad set. I will just get rid of it, completely turn it off. If I'm finding that it has a lot of add to carts, but they're just not quite getting there, not quite getting over, I will look at what my cost per add to cart is, and I will compare it to the ad sets that I'm making sales. If my cost per add to cart is the same on the other ad sets that I'm making sales, then I will leave it running just a little bit longer, let it go into that loss kind of over my break even, and then make a decision on it later, because it may just be that Facebook just hasn't quite figured out who your perfect audience is yet. If after a few days it still hasn't made any sales and now you're over your break-even point by quite a bit, then yeah, just kill it off. Just it's obviously not working. It could be a pricing issue. It could be the audience. Just get rid of it. But as a general rule of thumb, if you're hitting your break-even point, kill it. If it's made a sale and you're at your break-even point, let it run. And if it's profitable, then you need to be letting that run, obviously, to keep more profitable. And when you're using CPO campaigns, Facebook then should be optimizing your budget and pushing it towards those ad sets that are working. So it could be that an ad set doesn't reach its break-even point for a week, 2 weeks, depending on how the CBO is working. That's fine. Let it run. Don't kill it until it's spent that break-even point. Because even if you spend the entire £15 in this example up to that break-even point, if you make a sale right on that £15, you're break even. You're not in a loss anymore. But if you killed it the £14, then you're in a loss. So, just leave it going until it's break-even point, and then you can decide to kill it that way. Another question I get asked is, how do I know when to scale a product? Now, this comes down to obviously your budget and what you're seeing in your ad account. But generally, if you're seeing 3 sales on an ad set and you're profitable, so your ROAS is above your break-even point, then that is a very good ad set, and you should be looking to scale that. And the way that I would go about scaling that in the CBO world now is you can either increase your budget on your current CBO, because you can be more aggressive, so you could increase it by 50%. So say if you were running a £200 a day budget on a CBO, then you could then increase that to £300 a day and let it run, and it won't ruin it as much as it used to with just when you used to set budget at interest levels. So the CBO will then send that £300 out to all the different ad sets, and if you've got winning ad sets in there, it should be weighting that higher budget to those ad sets, which ultimately means more profit. If you don't want to touch your campaign, then what I've also done in the past is that I've duplicated the campaign at a higher budget. So another CBO. So say if you're starting at something quite low, say like £20 a day on a budget, and now you've killed all your ad sets in there that aren't working, and in there you have all your winning ad sets, all the ad sets that are profitable. If you don't want to increase your budget because you're worried about ruining the optimization, you can duplicate that campaign now with just those winning ad sets and increase that. So you could either put that then in at 200 a day, and so you're going to have a £20 CBO running and you're going to have a £200 CBO running. Now, because your audiences for these ad sets should be quite big, you shouldn't be running really small audiences, you're not going to get much of an overlap on those two campaigns, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But that allows you to increase your budget without affecting your campaign that's currently running. Another way that I like to scale is something that I'm testing at the moment, is to duplicate my campaign, but set it at £1,000 a day. Now, before you freak out, what I normally do is when I set a campaign at £1,000 a day, I go into the ad sets and I set a bid cap on all the ad sets at 75% of my break-even point. This means that Facebook will only ever bid for a sale at 75% of my break even. And what I found is it'll be quite quick at the beginning. It'll spend the budget quite quick to optimize it, but then it'll start to slow down as you get closer to that bid cap, and you won't actually spend 1,000 because it won't be able to if it's not working. You see, you need a bigger budget for this. This is something I am testing, but it's something just to keep in mind that you can do something like that. Set a higher budget, but set the big cap. Bear in mind, you're going to have to be focused on it. You're going to have to check it throughout the day, so you can kill your ad sets that are hitting that break-even point, because you're reaching thousands and thousands of people really, really quickly at that. If you're finding that your ad sets are working and you're running £1,000 a day, then you're going to be getting a lot of profit, because it's going to spend that £1,000 because it is working, but it won't spend it if it's not. So it's something I'm testing at the moment. As I get some more results on it, then I'll probably do a video about it in the future that'll explain how that works. But it's seeing with products that are working, it's seeing some great results at the moment. So yeah, those are some of the most common questions that I get asked on a daily basis. Hopefully you found that useful. Hopefully you found it insightful. If there's anything else you want to know, then just drop me a comment, because as you can see across my channel, I'm answering everything I possibly can. But as the channel grows, obviously it's going to get harder and harder. But I'm trying my best to answer all the questions that you have. If you want to learn more about dropshipping, then check out the links in the description, because everything you need to know is in there within the Advanced Dropshipping Academy, and all the other useful links that are in that description. So make sure you go check that out. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, drop me a like, hit that notification bell, and yeah, I will see you in the next one.